When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do meaningful work every day. You get to be the biker who codes as fast as he rides, crafting advanced tech solutions that transform car buying, or a guitarist who develops harmonious apps and websites, connecting people to people and businesses, all in real time. A savvy soccer mom running solution sets as passionately as she runs gameplays. Be the super secret keeper, designing cybersecurity systems to protect private data and websites. A planet protector, expanding EV battery life and inventing more ways to build a better future for all. When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do career-defining work that solves the greatest problems of our time. Join us and connect to work that improves lives, including yours. Learn more about our family of businesses at cox.career/tech.
Audio Jungle.
Good evening. Welcome to WSBI, your Resource for Success podcast program, where you get to meet inspiring women-owned businesses from across the country. My name is Kimberly McLemore, and I am your host. With us we have LaDonna Edmonds Bacon, visionary and facilitator of Women Armed to Rebuild, Reinforce, and Restore, also known as WAR. She founded this ministry to equip women with the tools to help them develop, activate, and operate in their God-given gifts and talents. Welcome, LaDonna.
Good evening. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I have been truly looking forward to this interview. We've reached kind of out to each other back and forth. I have been paying attention to you a little bit here and there on Facebook, so I've been really excited about getting this opportunity to interview you this evening and find all about your ministry and how you are helping other women. So to kind of start this out, would you just please tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I'll be more than happy to. Like you said, my name is LaDonna Edmonds Bacon. I am the founder of Ward 3, Women Armed to Rebuild, Reinforce, and Restore. I am a mother, I'm a wife, I'm an entrepreneur, but first and foremost, before any of that, I am a woman of God. So God and my beliefs, they correlate back into my ministry and also my business. And, as far as what I've been up to, it's a lot. And, sometimes, I feel like I'm so busy that I'm not getting anything done. I always have projects, and I have to simply tell myself, like, here we go again. You're doing something, but I'm not finishing anything. So I need to, step back, regroup, refocus, prioritize everything. And so I find myself having that conversation at least once a week.
Uh-huh.
But Earlier this year, I did create a financial workbook that's called Mind Over Money. It basically helps women create clear and strategic plans for their finances within the 12-month period. I like to call it creating a vision for your finances because, as you mentioned in the beginning, I call myself the visionary because I feel that all women should be visionaries. And as Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision and make it plain. So we need to have visions for our lives. And
right.
within my ministry, there's three key areas that I feel as a woman we need to have strategic visions for. And that's our faith, our prayer life, our family, your spouse, or if you're dating, more so there as far as like what the timeline is before, you get married, have children and all that kind of stuff. And then also your finances, knowing exactly where you've been, where you are, and where you want to go.
Okay.
So those are three key areas.
Okay. All right. Before we dive and continue more into the business aspect of what you're doing, talk to me a little bit more about you personally. Where you're from and how you got started into this business and what inspired you to get into the business.
I am a very small town that probably no one has heard about except the maybe 500 people that live there, and maybe the other 1,000 that's outside of that area. It's called Drakes Branch, Virginia. It's a very rural area outside of Richmond, Virginia, which is the capital of Virginia. It's about an hour and a half south. Closer to the western hemisphere of the state. And, I grew up there all my life. I lived in Atlanta for a short while, moved back home. I met my husband, which we have been married now. We just celebrated our 5-year anniversary.
Oh, congratulations.
July the 14th. Thank you very much. And an opportunity came about in 2013, and we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I have 4 beautiful, wonderful, smart, healthy children. I start at 20 and I go all the way down to 2.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit about that earlier. I was like, wow, that's awesome. And you don't even look like you could have 4 children, first of all, so you're absolutely stunning and look great. But yeah, that's a huge difference. But
yes. And it's all in God's plan, even though, 20 years ago, I didn't understand, didn't know what was going on. 10 years ago, I didn't understand and didn't know, but I'm thankful that I do now. And, like I said, everyone is wonderful, healthy, and, we're just enjoying life. And I can say, me looking as young as a lot of people say I look, and me having a 20-year-old child is kind of what has, one of the things that inspired me to start the ministry. Okay. In addition to my mom, which I'll touch on later, but, I graduated from high school. I was pregnant, and I saw all of my, classmates, going off to college, having, big dreams. And here I was, I think like 6 or 7 months pregnant, so, my college life had to be put on hold. I had a daughter that I had to raise, and, mama and daddy, they were not pleased because I came from a very traditional background. Right. And so, I had some struggles there, but we worked through it. I had to, get a job and just start adulthood at the age of, I graduated from high school at 17. So I had my daughter before I turned 18. So at 17, I had to become an adult. And just going through the trials and tribulations from the age of 24 the age of 17 until I was probably about 27, 28 years old from, like I said, having a child straight out of high school, also being in an abusive relationship, being on public assistance, having, an absent father to my children, and not really having a close relationship with my father, making, minimum wage and having, multiple kids and trying to make it on your own. I struggled in all of those areas. Maybe not all of them at the same time, but there was always something.
Right.
And once I, dedicated my life to God, started spending more time in church, started working in the church, and I found my husband, and things just started to go so much smoother in my life. Doors just started to be open. Just so many different good things, prosperous things. And I'm not just speaking on money. I'm just speaking on being at peace.
Right. Exactly.
Not worrying about the small things that I used to worry about, not having to look over my shoulder because I was doing like crazy stuff,
Right. But sometimes the circumstances themselves put yourself into an environment that you're just, you're not used to, but that's life. And the thing that I'm listening to in your story that I find interesting and I love is that how you brought yourself back. You realize that you had your plans and your ideas, but at the end of the day, and, we've talked a little bit about this prior, that, God has his plans. And, one struggle that you thought was a struggle, he, basically showed you, no, there's a right way to do this and there's an easier way to do this. So, you're benefiting from those things that you've learned, even though you went through a lot of struggle to get to where you're at today, it's made you a better person.
Yes. And thank you. Yes, it definitely has. And, once I came out of that and I look back at my friends, not looking down on anyone because but just looking at, my friends and other women who had some of the same struggles that I had, and just looking at them and seeing them lose their confidence, seeing them, almost give in.
Right.
And I'm feeling like, no, you can't do that. You can't let the enemy win. You can't let, him trick you into thinking that you're not worth more than your circumstance.
Right.
God, says that we are more than a conqueror. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. We are the head and not the tail. There's a list of things that is in the Bible that speaks on who we should be as not only women, but just as people, as a child of God. And so that's one of the things that encouraged me to start the ministry, was just seeing women just go through some of the same struggles that I went through and want to give in and give up and just be.
When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do meaningful work every day. You get to be the biker who codes as fast as he rides, crafting advanced tech solutions that transform car buying. Or a guitarist who develops harmonious apps and websites, connecting people to people and businesses, all in real time. A savvy soccer mom running solution sets as passionately as she runs gameplays. Be the super secret keeper, designing cybersecurity systems to protect private data and websites. A planet protector, expanding EV battery life and inventing more ways to build a better future for all. When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do career-defining work that solves the greatest problems of our time. Join us and connect to work that improves lives, including yours. Learn more about our family of businesses at cox.career/tech.
People are driven by the search for better. But when it comes to hiring, the best way to search for a candidate isn't to search at all. Don't search, match with Indeed. The hiring process can be slow and overwhelming. Simplify hiring with Indeed. Indeed is your matching and hiring platform. With over 350 million global monthly visitors according to Indeed data, and a matching engine that helps you find quality candidates fast. Ditch the busy work. Use Indeed for scheduling, screening, and messaging so you can connect with candidates faster. Join more than 3.5 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. That's Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Terms and conditions apply.
Comfortable in those negative situations. And I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, and then the second thing, it's my mom. And I know sometimes that can sound a little cliche, but she is definitely someone who has truly inspired me from the things that she didn't or hasn't done that I felt that she could have done better. And I say, well, I'm never going to be like that. I'm never going to be that person. And also from what she has done and, the person who she truly is, in her heart. And that is, a strong woman, even though she's married, she's still independent because, there's a lot of women who are married that they lose themselves.
Right. They lose themselves. They lose their independency. They forget all about who we are as individuals. And I think, essentially a lot of women do that even when they're not married. I've heard the stories, I think, and when as an individual, we all go through that process because we put everybody else first. And then the next thing you know, you're left behind and you'll look up 10, 20 years have gone by and you're saying, what happened? This is the things that I dreamed. These are the things that I wanted to do and accomplish. But because we are a nurturing group, this as women alone, we nurture everybody else and forget about ourselves. And so I think it's beautiful that when you have these types of programs available for women like you, and there's many of us like that who our goal is every day is to nurture and reach out to other women to understand who they are and to realize their benefits that they bring into this life are more than just serving others. And it's about serving yourself, because at the end of the day, you can be no good for nobody if you don't know who you are.
Exactly. That is so true. So true.
So, I definitely, like I said, applaud what you're doing and your inspiration, with your mom. I'm sure that she is a beautiful woman and she's blossomed you into the woman that you are. And the things that you've recognized about yourself, I think, is the most important piece about what you provide in your business. Now, you talked a little bit earlier about that you have a financial workbook that you provide for women so that they can have a better understanding of how to live and know their finances and so forth. So dive a little bit more into the discussion about the field of business that you're in.
Yes. So Women Armed to Rebuild, Reinforce, and Restore is it's basically a women's program, a women's ministry to help women develop their gifts and God-given gifts and talents so they can create visions, they can walk in their vision and live out their purpose. And like I said earlier, there's 3 key parts that I feel that are essential to you being the woman that God created you to be and having plans and visions for those areas. And that's faith, family, and finances. So I rolled out the Mind Over Money workbook, which covers the financial segment of those 3 visions. And that workbook, like I said, it gives you lots of forms, templates, different ways to challenge yourself to know exactly the amount of money that's coming in, know the exact amount that's going out, when it's going out on specific dates, and how you plan on saving your money. How do you want to look like a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? And so in creating that book, the worksheets that are in there are worksheets that I created for myself. I didn't download them off Google or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I created them. I've used them for my household for the last 8 or 9 years. As I spoke earlier, I was a single mother for a really long time, almost 10 years. And even though I was on public assistance for a short time, I accrued a lot of medical bills with having 3 children.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
And in the very beginning, because I lived with my parents, I couldn't qualify for financial assistance, and that was put on my credit at an early age. And just other things, just with living, being on minimum wage, and so I created those worksheets for me to rebuild my credit, for me to be able to plan ahead of time. I felt like my kids didn't have to suffer because of the choices that I made. I wanted to go on family vacations. I didn't want to live paycheck to paycheck. So I, created those tools to help me get to that point. And I did that on any salary. When I was making $9 an hour, when I was making $50,000 a year, I used those tools, and it just, I can't say that we went to Paris or anything like that.
Right.
But I can say that I budgeted for a weekend getaway.
Okay.
Something different to get us out of the community, to let them experience, other things.
Right. But the key is that, like I said, it's not about where the destination is the process of what you did to get to that piece, to know that you can be dependent, to say, hey, I've built this piece around to where I can still pay my bills, take care of all my responsibilities, and still be able to have a great time with my family and show them, like I said, lifestyle outside of your community. And I think the things that I was picking up on that I liked that you were talking about was how that no matter what your pay scale was, you maintained doing this process. And that's a good thing, because I think a lot of times people forget that once they start to increase their salary, they think, ooh, I'm just going to go blow all out of proportion. Everything that they've worked hard to get just fall out. Yes. Next thing you know, we got the new cars, all the material stuff, the jewelry, the clothes, and, the hair, the whole 9 yards. People start to forget the fact that it took you some time to get to this point. You want to maintain that. It doesn't mean you have to live like a hermit, so to speak, but at the same token, you want to be able to know that you can maintain that structure and then look at the future, because the increase comes with value of everything else as well. So I like the fact that you talk about that, and that those are the things that you're trying to help other women with, because everybody does it. We all get outside ourselves when all of a sudden we start to get a little extra money and realize what we can do with it, but then forgetting that the other piece never changes. That always stays. Bills will call your name no matter what. So you still have to maintain that no matter how much. But what I find that people do, and I'm sure you experience this all the time, is that when they don't know their budget, they don't understand, is because they have outspent what it is that they're bringing in. And that's the consistency.
Yes, that is true. And a lot of times, and even I went through this myself, it is, you already know that you're living above your pay scale. So you don't even want to know what it looks like. You're, in the beginning of the workbook, I share my story. I share how, I had 3 children making $9, $10 an hour, and how I felt, that I wasn't trying to, hang with the Joneses. I was the actual Jones on the street. Everybody was wondering, like, how is she doing it? How is she living in, this nice house, have a nice car, and she has 3 kids, and she goes to work every day. They were looking at me and was trying to repeat what I was doing. Little did they know, behind closed doors, it was a hot mess. It was a lot of robbing Peter to pay Paul. It was a lot of bounce checks. account being in the red, before you even get paid. If
Right.
I'm bringing home a $1 amount, and if I'm bringing home $1,000, by the time it hits my account, there's only 700 in there because I had 300 in the red,
Right.
and
Right.
so I'm thankful for God, and I'm thankful for him dealing with me, for him showing me and how I was abusing his blessing that he gave me. And so what I talk about in here is redirecting your focus on the definition of wealth, because so many people think wealth, you think of money, you think of a noun, like possessions that you have, like your Mercedes and your driveway, a $300,000 home,
Right.
But to me, wealth is a verb. It's an action word. It's what you do with what you have.
Exactly. Yep, absolutely. Well said. And that's the thing. Like I said, you find that people will live outside of their means, and it happens every day. And and I don't think either one of us are saying at this point that, like I said, you have to live like a hermit, that you can't enjoy what you work so hard for. But when you find yourself constantly, like you said, in the red, you're living, trying to be with the Joneses, or living the lifestyle of something that doesn't agree with you, you put yourselves in predicaments that causes you pain and agony. It has nothing to do with, oh well, God, he did this to me. No, you did it to you. Like you said, he gave you the blessing, but then you've taken that blessing and threw it out the window because you thought you knew better. And and those are just a lot of his life lessons learned. But, some people just never learn that lesson. It's the constant vicious circle. And, I think about just even reading, just several years ago when we had the crash, we have people with their homes, and it's like, how do you figure you can live in a $300,000 or $400,000 home making $10 an hour? I mean, common sense things that you would think people would think about every day aren't always so common.
No.
Yes. So you have to have these types of programs, in position for people to help them understand, and give them that visionary things that they have. And 90% of the time, they already know the answer. It's just whether they want to implement that answer into their lifestyle so that they're not struggling 24/7. But the other question I do want to ask, and I want to know, tell me about the challenges that you have faced with trying to get this business off the ground, and how people have been, have they been into the process of really wanting to do this with you? Talk about a little bit of some of those struggles.
Well, I can be very hard on myself, and so therefore some of the struggles that I have endured have been self-inflicted.
Okay.
When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do meaningful work every day. You get to be the biker who codes as fast as he rides, crafting advanced tech solutions that transform car buying, or a guitarist who develops harmonious apps and websites, connecting people to people and businesses, all in real time. A savvy soccer mom running solution sets as passionately as she runs gameplays. Be the super secret keeper, designing cybersecurity systems to protect private data and websites. A planet protector, expanding EV battery life and inventing more ways to build a better future for all. When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do career-defining work that solves the greatest problems of our time. Join us and connect to work that improves lives, including yours. Learn more about our family of businesses at cox.career/tech.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
With me not prioritizing as I should have, with me not following through on a more consistent basis. So even though I had a minor setback earlier this year when my mother, she got ill, really ill, and was in the hospital for almost 2 months. Mm-hmm. And that kind of put things on hold. I had to basically pack up from North Carolina, temporarily stay at the hospital, my dad's house, and help him out with my mom and things like that. So I can't use that as an excuse now because that ended in May. And here we are in August. Mm-hmm. And I still feel that I haven't given it my all. So like I said, I'm very critical about myself and things that I haven't brought to the table. And then the next thing I would say is, just getting it out there. It's hard when with my workbook, like I said, I created the worksheets. Mm-hmm. I wrote my story in the beginning. I print everything from home. I bind it. I put it together. I ship it out. I do it all. I didn't go to a publishing company. I did it all in-house. I don't have an ISBN, so I don't sell it on Amazon or anything like that. Okay. It's just through word of mouth, and mm-hmm. I'm thankful. I've probably sold since April maybe 150 books just on my own and doing little small contests with women sharing it and things like that. Mm-hmm. But another struggle has been, other women, and it's they reach out to me because they feel like they can use it in their women's group, or some of their clients can use it. And, they come to me with opportunities to partner. Okay. And when I partner with them, I send the book out, but there's nothing really reciprocated. Like, they'll post it on Facebook, but I don't feel like they have a true connection to it. They don't have the same fire that I have about the workbook. Right. And honestly, I don't know everybody's situation, but I feel like some of them are using it for their own benefit. Right. Instead of just coming on out and saying it, right. That, they're using it personally. But I'm very disappointed in the women who have reached out to me that have, who are either fellow entrepreneurs or fellow, they also have, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. They also have other women, they have women's ministries. Okay. That they have, I just don't feel like they have lived up to their side of the bargain. They'll post it because that's what they said that they were going to do. Right. But they don't go that extra step. And, I feel, and I shared this in the first part of my book, that in order to receive, you have to give. That's right. And, mm-hmm. And I believe in tithing to the church. I believe in tithing to your community. I believe in giving back in your community and giving mm-hmm. back to other people, supporting. I'm 100% behind something that if I believe in it, you have 100% of me. I'm not going to have. I'm not going to do the 50-50. I want 100% of you. I give you 100% of me. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, I'm listening to some of the challenges you're having. And I think a big part of it is that absolutely you're a new business. But, the challenge you face is what a lot of people face. And a big part of the marketing piece is huge. Social media is a must in business today, but also the piece of marketing that is beyond the social media aspect. What is it you do that's continual to in order to reach out to the right people, getting people their true interest. Those are some of the things that you'll have to continue to massage, and definitely will make sure that you get some of the right people that can help you with that marketing piece. I think that is probably one of the most important pieces of any business, because once you've got it all together and you put the things out there, and we all think that once we do something, we want that, hey, everybody's going to come aspect. And it's not, and it's not that people don't want to come, but I think a lot of times, depending on how things are marketed out, or depending on, like you said, who your target market is and how you're being able to reach out to them. And like I said, and the ones that you think that are going to help you not always going to be there to help. They may be more for their benefit than it is for you. But at the end of the day, I think sometimes it's just getting that balance right. And, I'm going to definitely help you with that, so that you can understand that, everything that you have, there's definitely people out there who need that. Everything that I do and what I think is important within my organization that I have with the Women's Small Business Initiative is about sharing resources and not having to reinvent the wheel. Anytime any woman or whether it's a man, woman, whoever decides that they open up a business, you have to understand your personal budgeting side. You have to know where, like you said, where you are at, before you can know where you are going. And that seems to be I have found a huge struggle with people who want to come into business, and especially with women. I just don't understand. It's like, everybody thinks they have a great idea, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all think that when we're in business, we are here for a purpose and for a reason, but you can't have that purpose and reason be successful until you know exactly where you're at. And a big piece of that is understanding your budget, knowing your day-to-day, everyday lifestyle, so that you can see how far you can go step by step in order to reach those next pieces in your goal and to get that success you want. So your challenges that you're talking about, as frustrating as they may be, I love the fact you're not giving up, but it's also something that people go through consistently. And for whatever reason, I have found that every woman that I have interviewed so far through my podcast program, we all seem to have the same struggle when it comes to working with women. I can't understand it. I will never be able to understand it. But the key is that, connecting with the right people to ensure that the benefit is there for everybody. You're going to get there, and I promise you will get there. I'm going to make sure that you get the right connections so that we can get your marketing piece up and really truly running, because I think that your product is phenomenal. And anytime you can take a product of your own and make it your own, like you say, you didn't go out and try to find somebody else to do it for you, or pick and chose things off of Google from other people's work. You are truly using your intuitive information, what it took for you to get from point A to B to C, so that you can be where you're at today. And I think more people appreciate that. It's just a matter of getting it out to the right people. So,
right, that is correct. And just to touch on the women again, because it's very frustrating, because they will be the same group of women who talk about the fact that they aren't able to connect with others. And then I sit back and I'm like, that's why. Because you're not pouring into them like you should. They want to receive, but they don't want to give. Mm-hmm. And like you said, with the whole marketing piece, in this ministry, I believe, yes, social media, it's like you need it in any type of business in today's environment. But I am also a strong believer in doing the work in your community, building up women that are not online, showing people who are in your vicinity, your community, who you are and what you're doing, not just trying to reach, shipping. It's good to be able to ship to Africa or Spain or California, Texas, wherever, but it's even more beautiful to be able to serve people in your community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just find that I think, all the things that you're talking about in reference to the marketing piece and dealing with the community sometimes is very small. And the thing that I have learned, even if we're just talking about, let's just look at the social media aspect. People don't understand that when you're utilizing the social media aspect, especially like, for instance, with Facebook, you're consistently beating up the same people over and over and over. You know, it gets to a point where you can only reach out to them for so many times and think that they're either going to get it or they're not going to get it, or either they're going to want the service or product or whatever it is you have. So, you know, the times that we live in today are everybody is about the texting. Everybody is about not really truly understanding how to look at each other and have a true conversation to sit down and talk about your business and truly understand what it is that you need to have to be successful, whether it's in business or whether it's in life. And, you know, I come from a time and era where we didn't have social media. You know, you had to stand up there in a classroom environment and you talked to people. You reached out to them. You know, you picked up the phone. There was no, well, let me just text this to you or let me send you a quick message. And that's, you know, that was the end of it. And that's how you did business. So I agree with you. You have to have a mix of everything in order to be successful in your business, and being a part of your community is very important. But today we obviously have to go as a bigger, broader piece of our community. Yes. And and like I tell people, even with my business, the business that I have, I support women all across the country as well as internationally. And the reason why we do that, because like I said, there is no such thing as having to constantly reinvent the wheel. There are enough of us women who are very successful that can help each other out so that we are all successful. There's room for everybody. Yes, and there is. You know, and that's the key. I think a lot of times, like I said, when we talk about the women that, you know, when you get that frustration piece of trying to work with women in your community, trying to be there for them and you want them to be there for you, it's that constant misunderstanding about competition. Competition is good. It's okay. But there's plenty of room on the table for everybody to reach their goals that they want to have in life. But you know, you have to be there to be supportive of each other. It's just learning how to realize that it's not about, hey, I'm not here to steal your idea. I'm not here to worry about what you have. I'm here to support you in what you have.
Yes, that is true. Yeah. And even, you know, with a lot of the, you know, the social media aspect, you know, I work in a retail environment where that's my day job. And we're constantly trying to find ways to grow our e-commerce, and then just sitting in different meetings on a weekly basis. And I'm like, this is exactly what Facebook and Instagram does. It's all the coding in the background. And so you know, you have to be very strategic too on what you post, how you post, what you share, how you share. You know, if you present yourself.
When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do meaningful work every day. You get to be the biker who codes as fast as he rides, crafting advanced tech solutions that transform car buying. Or a guitarist who develops harmonious apps and websites, connecting people to people and businesses, all in real time. A savvy soccer mom running solution sets as passionately as she runs gameplays. Be the super secret keeper, designing cybersecurity systems to protect private data and websites. A planet protector, expanding EV battery life and inventing more ways to build a better future for all. When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do career-defining work that solves the greatest problems of our time. Join us and connect to work that improves lives, including yours. Learn more about our family of businesses at cox.career/tech.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
As a business, it doesn't show up in everybody's timeline.
That's right.
Because you're not paying for that service. And especially now, since Facebook is public, so they're trying to make money, continuously make money. And they don't make, if everybody out here is making money off of them, and you're making money off your posts, but you're not signing up for any of, the Facebook ads and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They have coding in the background to not let your post show up in everybody's news feed. And that's some of the things that I've learned, from my job, how they are able to code and make sure some negative feedback doesn't get posted on the website, or mm-hmm. Different things like that, because they look for specific words.
Right. And it's their algorithms that they put together that, they can reach out in a certain facet of entities. And but like you said, that's their job. That's what they do. Yep. Facebook is not just about giving everything that you want. They have to have something in return. Yes. So, to some degree, I guess you almost have to look at your business in the same perspective. And I think, mm-hmm. My attitude always is that, people will pay for what they want. And at the end of the day, if they feel that what your product and services that you are providing is essential to what their needs are, they're going to pay for it. And they're going to be willing to step up to the plate and do what they have to do because they want to be successful in life. It's not about mm-hmm. being in business, it's about being successful in life. And we all, at one point in time in our lives, we have to reach out to something or someone in order to get to where we need to get to. We all make mistakes. We all have certain situations. We don't know everybody's stories, but whatever that story is, there's times where we need to have that mentor, that person, that can say that right word or have that right product or service. You're going to reach out to them and you're going to spend the money and you won't even think twice about it. So, and then from there, it usually is, hey, there's another person over here around the corner that needs this help and another person. So it usually just takes one and it goes from there. But, I guess my thing to you would be that continue doing what you're doing. You're doing a phenomenal job. Just continue reaching out, continue putting the effort into what you're doing. Being in business is hard. And as you continue to grow and learn from it, just know that you're doing the right thing. And you wouldn't have, you're welcome, hon. You wouldn't have the vision and you wouldn't be doing it if you didn't know it was the right thing to do. So just keep living your dream. That's
Thank
important.
You so much.
You're
Very
welcome. You're welcome. That's just me. I just think it's important that, as women in business, that we are here to encourage each other and that, we're here to motivate. But the key is that you have to have that desire and that drive, and you have the desire and drive. And that's really what truly wakes you up every day to get you where you're at, because you wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't. So, as you continue to need that motivation and you're constantly motivating other women to do the same thing, as sisters, that's what we're here for. We're here to back each other up. We're here to support each other. And, hey, I'm here for you if you need me. And there's many other women out here that are absolutely going to be here for you to help make sure that your business is a continued success. But
awesome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But I have a couple more questions before we end the interview. If there was one more thing that you would want to share with a woman who wants to come into business, what would that thing be? Piece of advice.
Be strategic. Be patient. Create a plan. And create a budget. One thing that I did, and that's one of the biggest, not the biggest thing, but one of my hardest lessons is not having a budget and me having a huge imagination, just buying, and then setting that afterwards. And then when I'm ready to roll out a product, I have all this stuff.
Right.
And that's not my current vision. And it's been sitting at my house for maybe 3 or 4 months. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't return it now, or, I've lost the receipt, or
right.
They're no longer selling it, or it's been too far gone for me to return it. So you don't want to spend any money or invest in yourself until you are sure about the direction you want to take your company.
Right. And that is definitely true. But also remember in the process of growing and learning about yourself with the businesses that sometimes you will change it 10 times over before you truly understand where you're going. And I have definitely been there. I have watched myself for the last year and a half with my business. I was like, oh yeah, this is the membership program that I want. This is how it's going to look, and it's all going to be perfect. Then I realized 6 months later, I'm doing this. Next thing I know, I'm doing this. I mean, so it's that continual understanding of what you're trying to convey to people, so that when it's out there, people truly understand it. So you may go through that little wheel, like that the rat runs until you can get it right. And so you will sometimes invest money into things that you didn't, hey, well, it didn't work. But at the end of the day, at least because like you said, your ideas can go rampant. And then the next thing you know, you're doing 20 million different things. Like when I started my membership program and my women's initiative, I didn't think about doing a podcast. I'm like, a what? I was like, I need to do a what? But the podcast program has been the most beneficial. Like I said, you ladies having the opportunity to share your stories. There's always somebody else out there who's going to be able to connect with you and understand that their struggles are the same as yours. And so they realize that a lot of times people don't understand when they see us visually, they think everything is perfect in our world. But when they hear these stories, they'll understand that we're no different than they are. We just now understand the secrets and know the sauce that comes with it in order to make things the way that it needs to work for us in business. And so having these opportunities to share your story and telling everybody this is what the real world is about, I think is very beneficial. And so, don't beat yourself up a lot about doing those things. It's just the process that comes with it sometimes of being in business, So
and what I was more referring to is when you buy or purchase those items and you don't use them at all.
Right.
It happens, if you subscribe to a membership program and you use it once or twice and then you're like, oh, okay, that's not for me. I made the wrong decision. Trial and error, you learn and you move forward and you have a clearer insight of what you want to do next. But if you purchase that membership program and you spent $50 on it and you didn't use it and you're like, why did I do that?
But you'd be surprised. People do it every day. It never seems to surprise me. And I'll be like, okay.
And I'm one of them.
Right. Yeah. I'm not going to do that. But, some people will do that. People will spend their money and they'll be like, oh, well, I signed up for this. I'm doing this, doing that. And then realize a year later, I haven't done anything, with this product or with the service that I purchased. But at the end of the day, that's not the fault of the group that you join. It's your personal issue.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, wait until before you buy or invest to make sure that you're clear about your direction and what you're going to use that product for, how you're going to use it. And like you said, once you're into it, you may switch directions, but at least you used it somewhat. And, like I said earlier, you were able to see that it may not have been beneficial for you at that time. But just as long as when you're spending the money, you get some type of something out of it versus nothing.
Yeah, that part is true. I agree with that. Absolutely. But like I said, we all do it every day and hope that, these conversations people will learn from so that they don't constantly make the mistakes we make. That's what this is all about. So, but my last question is that, hey, how can everybody get a hold of you, LaDonna?
Hope you have your pen and pads ready. Social media is out there all over. So I have a couple of things going on. My Instagram and Facebook business page are both War 3 Army, WAR, the number 3 Army, ARMY. Why is it Army? Because I'm building an army of women, of warriors for God that's going to walk the walk and not just talk the talk, but walk the walk. So War 3 Army, that's Facebook and Instagram. I also have a website that's www.war3army.com. war3army.com. There you can join my army. You can subscribe to my newsletter. You can view the products that I have out there, and also just get more in-depth information about myself and the ministry War 3. And email, if you want to send me a quick note, you can reach me at LaDonna@war3army.com. Oh, and also on Facebook, I have a closed group for the Mind Over Money workbook. You can send your request, and I'll go ahead and add you to the group. But on Facebook, to be involved in that, you can just search Mind Over Money Challenge, and I'll add you on there.
All right, great. Thank you so much. This has been an awesome interview, and I've enjoyed the time that we spent together, and I do appreciate everything that you had brought to the table this evening, and truly sharing some real insight to, your life and what's been going on. So again, I thank you for coming on tonight. And for my listeners out there, I would like to thank you all for taking the time to sit up and listen to us this evening. I'm here every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. You can also find me anytime through the WSBI website, which is www.wsbillc.com. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram and Twitter. As far as listening to the show, please become a follower. You can listen to the show anytime on Spreaker, which is at www.spreaker.com/user/WSBI. Again, thank you all for this evening. Until the next time, take care.
When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do meaningful work every day. You get to be the biker who codes as fast as he rides, crafting advanced tech solutions that transform car buying, or a guitarist who develops harmonious apps and websites, connecting people to people and businesses, all in real time. A savvy soccer mom running solution sets as passionately as she runs gameplays. Be the super secret keeper, designing cybersecurity systems to protect private data and websites. A planet protector, expanding EV battery life and inventing more ways to build a better future for all. When you work in tech at Cox, you get to do career-defining work that solves the greatest problems of our time. Join us and connect to work that improves lives, including yours. Learn more about our family of businesses at cox.career/tech.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.